Hey guys, Mitch here with the TheAudioDabbler YouTube channel. Today, if you're looking for a good set of studio reference monitors or just any kind of set of good speakers to listen or play through your MPCs, iCi4s, any kind of portable little groove boxes or anything like that, then look no further than the IK Multimedia's iLoud Micro Monitor Pros. These things are awesome. They're amazing. It's a 3-inch subwoofer, or 3-inch, not a subwoofer, 3-inch woofer that packs a punch. It's amazing. So let's get into it. So like I said, these are from IK Multimedia. They did send these out for me to test and do a review video, but they have no say in the contents of this video. And I'll also say that you need to update the firmware via the X Monitor software. USB-C cable to USB into your computer. It's not that difficult. I had a little bit of issues, but that was because my computer was having the issues, not the speakers. But they are awesome. They have an ultra flat 50 hertz to 20 kilohertz response. Like it's crazy the depth and the range that these little tiny speakers have. They really fill a room. It's got 109 SPL, which is crazy for that small of a speaker. And so these are not to be confused with, there's another earlier smaller, not smaller, but another version that came out that was just the iLoud Micros, and this is not those. This is Pro, and it has Pro speaker, it has Pro specs, and it really is. I have a set of M-Audio BX8s, and I honestly could just set those there. But I'm not going to use those for that, because I'm going to use these for more portable, around the house, wherever I want to go. Because all the speakers, they're protected. They got a grill on it. So you could throw one of these in the backpack, go out in the yard, go wherever you're going, plug it up. Because it doesn't have a wall wart either. It's got the little plug that goes in the back. All the electronics is built on the inside of the speaker, and so it just has the one plug that goes into the wall. You ain't got to deal with all of that. They don't pull a lot of power, so you could use a portable battery pack that has an AC adapter. Works really well with that. I've tested that out. It works great. So I got a set of these. I got 2 of them, and each of those have 50 watt RMS, which is awesome. They have a balanced XLR and an RCA unbalanced input. I use the balanced XLR inputs, and I have some XLR to 1/4-inch cables that I got because most of my equipment, audio interfaces, and my iCi4s and my MPC Key 61 and things like that all have 1/4-inch outputs, and so you could never have too many of those cables around, so I went ahead and picked those up. Also, going back to the updating the firmware, using the X Monitor software is really good. You get a little more advanced calibration, just depending on your setup. I have a Mac Mini, M4 Mac Mini, and so it's not necessarily portable. Someone with a MacBook Pro laptop or an Air or something like that, they're not really a big deal. But with those, because I have more of a desktop computer, you may want to look into, if you're going to use the software, and to some USB extender cables. It could help you out if your computer's on one side of the studio, and if you have a bigger studio or whatever, and if you want to use that. But the self-calibration, in my opinion, for convenience and ease, you just set the microphone up just the way you would with the Arc Studio, if you're familiar with that. You point it at it, there's a little button, you hold the button down, it will self-calibrate, do some filter sweeps, and then it'll sit there and it'll wait, it'll flash, and then it'll flash green. Takes about a minute. I've timed it a couple times. Takes about a minute and 20 or so seconds for the full process. So 2 speakers, under 5 minutes, wherever you put them, you're going to be calibrated to the room, which that's amazing. You're not having to acoustically treat everything. You're not having to put wall foam on the walls. And I got this big this is a big thick blanket over the door to help with any kind of extra noise and just to provide extra things. I have a lot of stuff in here that helps, but these are meant to be portable. So take them to your living room, set this up, and bam, 5 minutes and you're good to go, and you can mix to you know, a good sounding set of speakers that's tuned to the room. Yeah, so I've had these a couple weeks, and I've been mainly using them with my Kai Force. I did plug my guitar pedal board into one, and it sounded amazing as well. But these, they're awesome. I can't, it's really hard, like a sound test with speakers is so subjective because you've got room, you've got the microphone that I'm recording with, you've got the speakers that you are listening to on, so it's very, very subjective. So I really don't think that that would do any credit to do anything like that. Like, I've not noticed any latency. So when the calibration is on, there's virtually no latency at all. I played guitar through it, and it was responsive. It was right on. You know, playing my Kai Force through it with beats, making things live. It's just awesome setup, and I really, really thank IK Multimedia for sending this out, because it's one of those things you don't know you need until you got it, and then you're like, how could I ever live without like these small little speakers like that? They're just like, I got a buddy, he's a couple hours away, and you know, I plan on next time I go visit him and jam out to throw these in a backpack, take them there, because then we both have some good speakers. I can tune it to his room, and we can just record and do whatever we need to do, and it's just going to be awesome. All right, let's talk about a few more little specs and things about the speakers. They do have little kickstands in the front that can angle them up, so if you're on a desk that may be slanted, or however, if it's a lower desk, you can tilt them up so that they'll, you know, put the music more towards your ear to get some better mixing. Not had any issues with the changing music from my Kai Force and then putting it on my main or playing it in the car. It with mixed there on these speakers, it sounds great. It does have a few controls on the back for you know, the top mode is the mode. It'll go between calibrated or desk and flat. You can adjust the high and low frequencies, and you can also trim it from 50 hertz to 80 hertz if you're already using some like a sub and you got them hooked up into that kind of situation. It's got a USB port for the X Monitor software. I really can't think of anything else to cover with this. I mean, I guess I could do a little bit of a sound test. I don't know. There's just something about this little setup right here that is perfect. If this was an MPC, it'd be cool too, but I really like the Kai Force. But yeah, these work with any kind of groove box, anything. I would highly recommend iPad musicians set your audio interface up with these two, and it sounds just simply amazing. Even with sound design and things like that, it's just makes everything just awesome. And they're so portable. And so thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this was informative at least, and you get a better idea of what these can do for your studio. And coming from someone who's got a bigger set of studio monitors, I'm probably going to be using these a lot more than those. So talk to you guys in the next one.